Welcome back, folks. All right, let me set the stage for you. In Game 2 of a doubleheader Wednesday night, the Sioux City Explorers found themselves down 8-4 in extra innings with the bases loaded and no outs. That's when the game would be suspended and manager Steve Montgomery would be ejected. Oddly enough, Mongo going for win number 600 in this game, but he's in the clubhouse for the continuation. X's would pinch hit Luis Toribio with the bases loaded. Toribio sends a torpedo to right, and see you later. Ladies and gentlemen, we're tied up at 8 just like that. And tell you what, the bullpen, they were loving it. Torrin Montgomery at the dish now, runners on first and second, and after that pitch, we can change that to second and third. The double steal works, and Deshaun Knowles just 90 feet away now. Same at AB. Montgomery sends a fly ball into center. It's caught. Knowles tags up and scores. X's win 9-8 and walk off to give manager Steve Montgomery his 600th win of his career.
It's really the adage of this team, it's next man up, we felt good about that matchup and thought he could get one up in the air against a guy who's really tough on righties, and then just to base hit, and then the old adage, stolen base, and you get a sac fly. So you get emotional when you talk about it, and when you think about it. 600, but the players have won 600. I'm gonna be honest with you, the players have won 600. We've had great individuals, and what I'm most proud of is that they do things right off the field as well.
All right, Mongo back on the field for Game 2 of the night. We'll pick things up. Top of the first inning here. Micah Priest sends a drive the opposite way. That'll drop in between the left and center fielder. That allows the Monarchs to strike first as they lead 1-0. Later on, man on third for Kansas City. Jorge Bonifacio at the dish. He'll pull one, but how about Abdiel Layer laying out and then gunning one to first in time for the out to get the Lewis and Clark crew out of the inning. X's still trailing with a runner in scoring position here. Henry George hits a line drive, but this is speared on the dive by Jalen Williams, and everyone stays put. Later on, man on second. Josh Day sends a ground ball up the middle, and it's through. Curtis Byrne, now he'll score, but then after the final out is applied on the base paths, chaos breaks loose. Mongo apparently did not like something he heard from Kansas City. Both benches end up clearing in this one, and we've got a little bit of a scrum going here. Everything would cool off eventually, but then Mongo would come back out. He had a few more words for the home plate umpire. Surprisingly, no one ejected here in this situation. X's trail by 1. That would be until the bottom of the 6th inning. And with a man on second, Abdiel Layer would pull one by the third baseman in the left. That brings in Deshaun Knowles. It would tie things at 2, but Kansas City would get the win in this one, 3-2.